welcome to this session and thanks for coming along. I hope you find it interesting and enjoyable. In a minute I'm going to start off looking at some general points about growing vegetables which can be applied really throughout the year. Then I'm going to look at month by month through late winter through to spring, what to plant, and look at some key vegetables, three of them: carrots, corn and pumpkin. Before I do, I'd just like to make a general point about the philosophy of growing vegetables. Anybody who's been growing vegetables for any length of time would have heard a number of sort of philosophical types: organic, no-dig, biodynamic, permaculture, French intensive. I prefer to use what I call works gardening, which is try the works and do what works for you. What works for me may not work for you. Indeed, what works for me this year may not work for me next year. Over the 30 years I've been growing vegetables, my strategies have changed dramatically as I've adapted to the new environment or come up with new ideas and techniques. There are often many quite different ways to do the same thing just as successfully. So above all, try everything and experiment, experiment, experiment. That's the Ballarat district planting guide for vegetables. Anybody who's come from Melbourne will realise it's an entirely different situation here in Ballarat. Typically, it's about a 6-week delay in spring. When I was living in Melbourne, I would plant my tomatoes in the middle of September, whereas really, traditionally here in Ballarat, it's the first cup day in early November that you plant the tomatoes. So there's a 6-week gap. This seed planting guide, which is available free to download as a PDF from the Urban Food Gardening website. It was first developed about 15 years ago, and I got together with a number of experienced Ballarat gardeners, and we went through our things and when we were planting and what we were planting. Now, in itself, that makes it very flawed because we all put what we do. And so there are huge gaps in types of some very prominent vegetables are not in this list. That is because we only put what was actually, we practically planted and know was successful. You don't actually know the difference between when I'm saying planting seed as to put in a seedling box or put out or sow directly. So this next one, it's also up on the food garden, is month by month what to plant and do in the food garden. And particularly according to the gardens, in each one of them you've got what to plant from seed at that month, so that could be in April, what to plant directly as seedlings in the garden, and what to plant as seeds in seedling boxes that you will be planting out in 4 to 6 weeks' time. So it gives you a very structured view as to what to plant when, including it's especially good for the people who actually are growing their own seedlings. There are some seedlings, vegetables which actually transplant very easily as seedlings. And they've got the blue listing there. Any of the brassicas, they're wonderful in this go. They transplant as seedlings from a group punnet, which is one of those punnets with 8 seedlings in it, very easily. Then you get to the next one, is the yellow grouping, and they're a little bit harder to transplant. They're the ones that actually get knocked back a bit more easily when they're transplanted. And the number 1 indicates that they are best planted grown as a single cell seedling tray, so that when you pop it out, the root structure is intact. Finally, we've got the ones which look really not recommended to be grown as seedlings. There's actually 2 groups. The big seed groups, the beans, the broad beans, the peas. Big seeds, they don't transplant well at all as seedlings, even in single cell they can have problems with them. So they're best grown in the town. There's big seeds, vigorous growth. As long as you keep on top of the slugs and snails, they will do fine, perfectly grown as seeds. The ones which I just, to me, are just a complete no-no to plant as seedlings are all the root crops. They are basically because the first root, it turns into the actual large root of that. So if you transplant that, you damage that root. And an example here this is the exercise I did last season. I prepared 1 bed for carrots. I planted 1 section with seed, direct sown seed carrots, which is the ones on the left, and the others I planted with seedlings. Now, I didn't select, I randomly picked 3 of carrots from each row, so each group. The seeds on the left, the seedlings on the right. As you can see, there was one which had a minor root variation, but all 3 of the seedlings had this stunted look with multiple seeds. That's what happens when you grow seedlings from root crops. So really recommend, if you're growing root crops, you grow them as seeds, not seedlings. Just to recap, when I said about the single cell, that's what I mean. That you can see that the single cell punnet there. They've been planted each seed in a single cell, so when it grows up, the root structure is contained. So when you pop it out, you've done as minimal damage to the roots, so it does better. Now, I actually inadvertently did an exercise with corn some years ago when I planted both seed corn, direct sown, and seedlings at the same time. My theory was that the seedling, the grown ones would be first, and then the next one, the seed ones would come up and I'll get them later, so I was having a staggered crop. Now, in a sense, the seedling ones did mature first because corn is the fruiting of corn is triggered by the germination time, how long since it was germinated. But the seed ones caught up in size. So there was no difference in size. So even well, actually, in this case, I didn't plant them using the single cell seedling. They were damaged so much that they were stressed and they just didn't do anything for about 3 weeks. They got burnt tips on their leaves. So the ones that came up with right the planted the seed simply caught up. So going big seeds, as long as the soil conditions and the temperature is right, they will do better than growing seedlings. The first is look at protection against blackbirds. Now, so some people will think, what's the problem with blackbirds? I work at the Ballarat Community Garden, I'm a member of the Ballarat Community Garden, and because it's big open spaces, they don't have blackbird problems there. Don't have to do all this protection from blackbirds. But where I am in plenty of trees, if I planted seedlings or seeds without protection, there's a fair chance a blackbird will come on and tear them all up looking for worms. Now, the traditional way was to put wire mesh or chicken wire down to stop it. Works very effectively in the early stages. The problem with wire is that if you forget about it, the vegetables grow through, and then you're left with the choice of trying to pull it up and damage your vegetables, or strangling them by leaving the chicken wire there. By originally I just got cuttings of fruit trees, that you can see there, and just by putting them at different angles in the ground, you stopped the blackbirds, or at least reduced the likelihood of the blackbirds coming in and tearing it up. Sometimes the terminal will get in there, but they won't be able to fly away quickly because of cats, so they're reluctant to go in there where there's a whole lot of sticks sticking out of the ground. The beauty of this is that, one, you don't have to take them out. You can leave them in there permanently if you want to during the whole cycle of the vegetable you're growing. Or in the case of peas, with peas are not really, even bush peas tend to grow up a bit, so having some little sticks there supporting the pea plants is actually a really good idea. So I hit on the idea of actually using 13mm polypipe sticks, which are cut on an angle, as you can see on this right-hand side here. The beauty about these is they don't rot, so I can just use them year after year after year after year, and then I didn't have to worry about cutting sticks there. Fantastic for keeping, as I said, keeping blackbirds away if you've got a blackbird problem. So I was out one night, especially with the millennial drought. We had a couple of really bad years when there was these plagues of earwigs, and I just noticed they were coming out at night from the tops of the sticks I had in the ground, and I realised that they were using that as protection during the daytime and coming out at night. I thought, oh, and as a result, this is, this damage being done by earwigs on a bean plant, a raw bean plant there. But then I realised it was a perfect trap, because at the end of the season, all I had to do was pull them up, either knock them into the ground. I actually knock them into a bowl and feed them to the chooks go ape over them. And it's a way of keeping down the earwigs. And earwigs are one of those things which, the only way, if you want to do it the conventional chemical way, which really is a chemical Harley way, they're pretty tough customers, and poisons don't kill them easily. I stress that Having sunnier weeks in your garden is actually a good thing because they also predate, they're omnivores, they'll leach your beans and peas and that, and if there's enough of them, they can be a real problem. But at low levels, they'll also eat aphids. You know, people think of gardening in terms of what the weather's doing, the nice sunny day. In spring, we will always get an over 20-degree day in September, but you pretty well guarantee that within the next week we'll have a 10-degree day or a 12-degree day. So the temperature goes up during the day, down, and has a colder day, so it's going up and down, up and down. Soil warms up more slowly and cools down more slowly at night time. So you're getting a more graduated. But as the spring progresses, that graph gradually goes up. So the mean temperature of the soil is gradually rising. It's not going up, flaking up and down like the air temperature does. So groups of vegetables need different soil temperatures one, to germinate, and two, to grow. The 10-degree ones are broad beans, leeks, lettuce, onion, pak choy, peas, spinach. They're all ones which actually can grow will germinate in low soil temperatures. Now, of course, they will germinate in higher soil temperatures, especially things like spinach and lettuce. But they will start germinating at a low soil temperature of 10 plus degrees. The next one are the mild ones with 12 plus degrees, and they're basically mostly your root crops. So they're a little bit warmer requirements, except for onion and leek. And so they need just a little bit more warmer temperature to germinate in the soil. All those ones there, with the one exception of potato, are all can handle frost. So the next one, beans, corn, cucumber, pumpkin, sunflower, tomatoes, zucchini, they're all 15 plus degrees soil temperature. So if the temperature might be 20 degrees, but if the soil temperature is 10, it's not going to work. And then the very warm ones are your basil, capsicum, chilies, eggplant, rock melon and watermelon. Look, and as I said, that soil temperature is critical. You can put basil seedlings into soil that's 12 degrees and it won't die, but it'll sit there like a shag on a rock and won't do anything until the actual temperature of the soil warms up. And in the meantime, snails and slugs will clamber over lettuce to get to basil and decimate your basil. So that's a really warm one. Now, what does that mean for planting? Well, it means that basically the cool ones you can plant in August and September. The mild soil ones, that's the 12 plus degrees from the start of October. Warm soil from the middle of October, and the very warm ones from the start of November. As I said, you can try them, you can get them in earlier, but if the soil temperature is not warm enough, it's a lost cause. Just looking at what to plant in August, September. I personally actually plant my broad beans in April because I like to overwinter them and get them into production as early as possible. Lettuce, onion to me is the August crop. I put my onion seeds in seedling boxes in the greenhouse back in late April. Pak choy and of course peas. Lettuce in August, to me it suffers the same problem, and you really actually need to actually give some protection. They will go, they'll do okay, but sometimes they just sit there as well. So I've got these temporary greenhouse. This is the structure that I use, which are basically lengths of 2.4 metre 3/4 inch agricultural drain, irrigation pipe. Cuts 2.4 metre lengths by an angle, two of them, make a little hot cross one, put your plastic over it, put clips on it, holds it down, and I'll use star pickets to get some wood just to hold it down there. I can set that up in 5 minutes. I'll put this plastic dome over it for about a month, and then I'll take it off as the weather starts to warm up because lettuces don't need that heat. This gives you an idea of the type of frame I'm talking about. Why bird netting? Well, that's for sparrows. Again, if you don't have a sparrow problem, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you've got sparrows, they will tear apart young peas, young lettuces, silver beet at any stage. If you've ever, a lot of people actually don't know that. Have you ever seen silver beet that's got, like, it looks like it's been hit with hailstones? That's sparrows. Traditional gardening, vegetable gardening seed guides, planting guides actually say that it's more of an autumn crop, and that's quite true. There's quite a great any of the Chinese vegetables, pak choy, mizuna, cat soy, is from late summer into autumn, and even like Mizuno actually does a fantastic winter crop. Just crops on all winter once you've got it established. But it is an autumn one because it doesn't go to seed. In spring, Chinese vegetables like pak choy tend to go to seed as the weather warms up. There's really, Chinese vegetables are grown in, well, they've grown in Asia, stinking hot. So why is it that our vegetables, our Chinese vegetables, are grown in the spring here into warmer weather to go to seed? And it occurred to me, it is the heat which is a factor, but it's also the humidity. In Asia, it's very humid. We can't do anything about the dry heat we have here in southern Australia in summertime. But I was thinking about what to do about the moisture level, and I spoke to a Korean guy who said, we just grow pak choy in water. And I thought, that's interesting. So I did an experiment. He wasn't a gardener, so I wasn't so sure he actually really remembered it correctly. So I did an experiment trying to put it growing in pots in pond water, and it didn't go very well. So I picked on maybe it's a bog plant, and so I originally started with a standard bucket, but moved to the slightly larger builder's buckets, and I just drilled holes at round the bottom of it at the bottom third level. So 1/3 high, drill holes, left the 2/3 above there. Fill the bottom with a big pile of cow manure, put my compost in there, a little bit of seed raising mix on top, or sometimes I just plant seedlings or seeds in the case of pak choy, you can see pak choy, 3 of the green pak choy in one because they're very small, or a single white one. Originally, as I said, I used buckets, but I found builders' buckets were slightly better because they're slightly larger, and it's a really cheap thing to make because Bunnings, they sell builders' buckets, but sometimes as low as $2, $2.50, so that's a pretty cheap, large pot when you think about it. And I grow these wet pots, you can see there's 3 different stages, so I just keep rotating the pots around, staggering my crops, so I've always got pak choy available. So that's almost ready to crop, just only been in a short while, mid-level there, and there's the holes you can see. It keeps it boggy, it keeps the hole, as long as you sort of water them every 2 or 3 days, it keeps them really, really moist. Does not work for anything else. I've tried it with celery, did not like it. Celery makes raw grapes, that sort. But it appears that Chinese vegetables are quite happy in very, very boggy. And I think it's that moisture which stops the pak choy from going to seed in that kind of weather. My greenhouse are pretty well all year round. Carrots are actually quite easy to grow, but it's crucial to get the conditions right at the start to get them to germinate and the little carrot seeds to get going. Once they're of a certain size, they're almost indestructible. Even soil temperature. If the soil dries out after the carrot seedlings have germinated, it's a disaster for them. And if the soil temperature goes down really low at night, they don't seem to like that. They get lower germination rates. I've got 2 bins, one full of Ararat sand, which is sand built, kids sand, if you know it by it. And the other is Ursuldoon. Now, I know some people don't know that Ursuldoon is more like a fine gravel. I'll just pass this around so people can actually have a look at what Ursuldoon is. Both of them are very useful as additives for a number of different vegetables they grow. So seed raising mix mixed up. Put the seeds on there. Now some people will say, you mix it with sand and you put it in there. I've tried that. The trouble is you actually then can't see where the seeds are. So you don't know how many you're putting in. so I tend to just put the seed raising mix down, put the seeds down, and then put another layer of about half a centimetre of seed raising mix on top. The actual furrow is 5 centimetres wide, roughly. I don't measure everybody of this. And so it's a wider furrow. So when you put your seed raising mix and you put your seeds, you're not just sprinkling a single row, you're actually sprinkling them across the width of the 5 centimetre furrow. After sowing, as the carrots grow full size, you will always notice that there'll be some bigger carrots. It's like sort of like you're in a forest. There's big trees, but there's a really big one over here. If you think about going into the forest, when a tree in a rainforest falls and dies, it creates an opportunity for another tree to come up, and it comes up. So what you do is you pick the big carrots And as soon as you pick the big carrots, if it's a really big one, you pull out and put a bit of soil back in where the hole is, create a hole. But usually, most of the time, I don't have to do that. What it immediately does is free up space and resources for the smaller carrots nearby, and they start taking off. And some of those will become the next row. The dominant carrot method, I think, is one of the most productive per square metre that you can get. Now, you can just plant like that in the open, and that's going to be fine for most occasions, but I mentioned about the temperature of the soil and how moist the soil is are really big factors in carrot. Old timers used to put planks across there, protects it from cold and keeps it nice and moist. Also putting an old sheet and an old towel across. The trouble with both those methods is that if you're not vigilant, then forget about it. Then you just, eventually they'll sort of push you up there. I can't get out, and you've forgotten about them. So I prefer to use the shade pot method, and that's basically, you can use any sticks, but I've gone for 19 or polypipe sticks. So they're put across the carrot row, and then you put 50% shade pot over it. What that does is it creates almost a microclimate underneath there, so that it keeps it moister, it keeps it warmer at night, and the other thing, if you tie them, you can pin them down with pins or with bits of wood up at the edges and stretch it and put soil over it. So effectively what it then does, it acts as a protective barrier so your snails and slugs can't get it. Because it's 50% shade cloth, I've only ever used 50%, 70% might work too, I just happen to have some at the time. Because it's 50% shade cloth, it means that you can see when the carrots are growing up, up against the shade cloth, that's the time to remove it. But it's great protection against snails and slugs. It creates a more moist environment, it creates a microclimate, ideal than those carrots are moving up. Just examples of showing you that's the dominant carrot method of planting, it's a standard one. It's putting the shade cloth there. You can use your netting pins, or so I've got some stuff because I use a start pin and which is fantastic. And then covering the sides there so it's got a protection so the snails and slugs can't get underneath. If you really can't do that, then another option is actually to build a box and put fiberglass screen mesh over it if you're really having trouble with snails and slugs. That brings us to the middle of October. The temperatures starting to warm up here. Now, because I'm talking months, which is dates, but it's actually not dates, again, it's soil temperature. So it varies. This is going to vary each season, depending on whether it's early or late season that we're having spring season. It's what I call D week, which is like D-Day. It's that week that came in the middle of October. Usually about the second or third week in October. You wake up on a Saturday morning and you hear that incessant hum of lawnmowers. And the grass is beginning to grow furiously. And everybody's out there mowing. That is when the soil temperature has reached that. That is when you can plant corn, beans and corn in the ground. We are still in this frost period. It's usually only very mild frost, but you can still get a frost really up to the start of November. So the corn will take a little while to germinate, and usually they start pushing through about the start of November. And of course you can plant seedlings, but you do need to plant them with protection, tomato, eggplant, capsicum, because there's still risk of frost. Now you might think that the tops are open to them, therefore, hot warm air rises and so all the warm air will be at night, but it's a frosty night, will go out there. For some reason it seems to actually offer enough protection to keep it frost free on a mild frost if you've got the tree dark. But if it's in there, you can also just put a peg and peg it closer at the top. The advantage of that, because I used to, in the old days, I used to use like the tops of fruit juice containers. But the trouble with those is that they actually get too hot quickly. And I lost more seedlings in springtime from being too hot than too cold or frost. Because if it gets really hot, it cooks the seed. So that excellent way of putting temporary protection on your early capsicum, eggplant and tomatoes. Another example there is it's a more elaborate one where I did build a frame and put some laser light over the top gate to provide that protection. In that 2-week window. Now, of course, you can plant tomatoes and cabbages a bit earlier than that, but I said, again, because of the soil temperature, they're just not about to do much. Again, it's pretty easy to grow. There's a couple of points to know about it. Again, well-drained soil, like friable soil. It must be sound like a broken record, well-drained like friable soil, but I believe there actually are vegetables that are heavier soils, like Brussels sprouts, that's better at heavy soil. Seeds, 15 degrees, protected with snails and slugs, they do love those that are corn shoots coming up. Water when the tassels are formed and the tops well, and this is the most important one, plant in the bunch on the road. I've countless times seen people plant the corn in a single row, because corn is a very ancient grass actually. It is one of the few plants actually that's wind pollinated as opposed to insect pollinated bees. So if you put them in a row and the prevailing wind is across it, then what happens is that the pollen is actually blown away from the corn, and the pollen from the tassels have to actually fall on the tassels of the corn to actually pollinate them actually. Yeah, but you know you've got a problem when you see a corn cob, which is it's got fully formed corn kernels, but then some sections are just there's nothing. There's just simply that's one that hasn't pollinated properly. So you want them in a bunch. You want at least 8 plants, preferably more if you can. Nice big bunch to get them going. Firstly, shovelful of manure, shovelful of compost, a handful of blood, and a shovelful of sand, up to a shovelful of sand per square metre if you want to get that lighter soil. That is probably my standard go-to for most vegetables in terms of preparation for so I'm a 3-2-3-2-3-2 configuration down there. For years, I didn't last year because I planted them away from the main vegetable bed, but for years I planted 13 corn in this 3-2-3-2 configuration, and it works really well. So the distance is more compact than the traditional method, but still get really good corn out of it. Let them grow up. You would pick the biggest one and pull out the other ones, and again, what you've got to do is dig up one of the surplus corn seedlings, getting as much soil around it as possible, you don't want to damage the roots, and put it in a spot where there was no corn came up. You don't want to plant corn seed there again, because that will be coming up later. But sometimes in really hot weather, simply blast it, you can actually burn the tassels and they're not quite ready. But all you have to do is just peel back the top so let me have a look at it. If you think it's ready, pick it. If you don't think it's ready, then just put it back again and wait another couple of days. And now, because, as I said, because they all come on at once, they all pollinate at once, they all come up at once, there is a window of ripeness for corn, which is about 7 to 10 days. So you've got to eat, if you want to eat it directly fresh, you've got 7 to 10 days. For me, the best way to do it, the way we do it now, is that we'll eat fresh corn the first 6-7 days, but we will then pick the corn, chop it up into little cockets and parboil it and freeze it, put it in the freezer. And then you've got these little cockets. They're not quite as nice as your fresh corn, but I still think they're nicer than fresh corn bought in the supermarket. Okay, start of November, I call it the safe period. That is when the frost period here in Ballarat is past. And that is when you can plant pumpkin, zucchini, tomato, eggplant, capsicum without protection. And look, the honest truth is, although you can plant these things earlier, especially pumpkin zucchini ones in a couple of weeks earlier, you really don't gain much and have a lot of extra risk. For me, I don't plant my pumpkin until the start of November. Pumpkin, full sunlight, they have plenty of manure and space to grow. The traditional now method is to dig a hole 60 centimetres wide by 30 centimetres in approximately. Again, it's not rocket science. Fill it with just pure cheap mineral calamine or something like that. You mound it up, and I add more soil, a bit more sand to it. You mound it up so it's 10 centimetres above. It's a mound. You plant 3 seeds or 4 seeds with 2 points on it, and again, grows the strongest pick the strongest 2 seedlings and leave those in, throw the others out as decoys. The trouble with the mound method is that because it's like friable soil, if it rains heavily, it can wash the mound away or damage the mound, and if you water it, the water flows down and tends to water those 2 points. So I prefer brick mound method. This is the method I use for pumpkins, and that is the same thing you do with the mound, but then I put a row of bricks around the edge of it, force it to slope in slightly, and flatten out the top of it, and then I paint it into there. The bricks, what the bricks do, they hold the mound together, stop it from falling apart, and they also create a point where the water, when you water, it actually water the pumpkins on the top and not go down the side. But also the bricks store heat in that spring, let it off when the seedlings are young, and let off heat at night, so it actually keeps that mound just a little bit warmer. So I'll just finish off. I'm afraid I'm just going to stop at the pumpkins. So this is just showing you the whole. You can see it, it's light, it's got out sand to it, and that's the bricks around it, and that's the. I've also put sand in it. Again, sand actually draws heat, so in that when you want the ground to be as warm as possible when the seedlings are coming up, you plant the. Then I was talking about growing seedlings myself. 2 methods to doing that. Easiest, simplest way is with the styrofoam box. Really great because you just fill the bottom third bottom 2/3 with compost or good quality soil. Put some seed raising mix over the top of it, plant into that. That actually creates a good mass because she keeps the seedlings more moist for longer than in a small little seedling tray. But the more complex method here is to do them in single-cell seedling trays. I talk about single-cell seedling trays. Why is that? Because you virtually can't buy vegetables grown in single-cell seedling trays. You've got to do it yourself. Just to finish off, all those guides I said, you can get them as downloads, like the soil temperature guide, the seed seeding guide, monthly planting from the Living Food Garden website. They're all free. Just go and download them.
Thanks very much, John. If I can hands